NFL World reacts to Shilo Sanders' ejection as Todd Bowles loses patience with Bucs rookie. Introduction. A moment that shifted the spotlight. The NFL preseason is unforgiving. For stars, it's a tune-up. For veterans, it's about sharpening rhythm. But for undrafted rookies, it is life or death. Every snap, every tackle, and every play is magnified tenfold. Coaches, scouts, and executives scrutinize not just athleticism but demeanor, discipline, and resilience. For Shilo Sanders, the son of Hall of Famer Deion Primetime Sanders and the brother of Browns rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders, that spotlight has been brighter than most could ever endure. Heading into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers preseason clash against the Buffalo Bills, Shilo had one last chance to prove himself. He had already endured a quiet preseason statistically, but roster hopefuls don't need gaudy numbers. They need clean tape, hustle, and discipline. Instead, on this night, Sanders' name dominated headlines for all the wrong reasons. In a split-second decision fueled by frustration, the rookie threw a punch at Bills tight end Zach Davidson. The flag came instantly, the whistle shrieked, and before the dust settled, Sanders was jogging off the field under the harsh glare of cameras. The penalty? Ejection. The consequence? Potentially career-defining. The incident: tempers, punch, and ejection. The play looked routine at first. Davidson and Sanders locked up as the Bills drove deep into Tampa territory. The scoreboard read 7-3 in Buffalo's favor, but the game was far from decided. For Sanders, however, one confrontation changed everything. What began as hand-fighting escalated quickly. As the two tangled, Sanders lost his cool. His right arm swung, connecting with Davidson's helmet. In the NFL, there is no debate. Throwing a punch is an automatic penalty and ejection. Referees wasted no time. The yellow flag flew. The announcement blared, "Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Defense. Number 33 is disqualified." Sanders' night was over. Worse, his audition may have been too. Todd Bowles' reaction: brutal honesty. If Shilo hoped for compassion from his head coach, Todd Bowles provided none. His post-game press conference was blunt, cold, and definitive. "You know you can't throw punches in this league," Bowles said. "It's an inexcusable thing that will get you out every time." That word, inexcusable, landed like a hammer. In one sentence, Bowles made it clear that this was not simply a rookie mistake. It was a violation of a standard that cannot be bent. The visual told the story too. Cameras caught Bowles shaking his head as Sanders trudged down the tunnel. It was the look of a coach disappointed, not just in a player's lapse, but in a squandered opportunity. Why this hurts more? The rookie reality. For a first-rounder, mistakes are inconvenient. For an undrafted rookie like Shilo Sanders, mistakes can be fatal. The margin for error is paper-thin. Before the Bills game, Sanders' stat line was modest. 3 total tackles across 3 preseason outings. No interceptions, no sacks, no forced turnovers. His strength had been effort, not production. Coaches had penciled him in as a possible practice squad candidate, someone who could learn, develop, and maybe break through later. But now, his resume reads differently. In addition to low statistical impact, his tape now includes missed tackles in coverage, a reputation for slipping in open field matchups, and most damning, an ejection for throwing a punch. That last line sticks out in bold when coaches sit in a dark room making cut decisions. For an undrafted rookie, negatives carry twice the weight of positives. The family spotlight: blessing or burden? The Sanders name is iconic in football. Deion Sanders, Shilo's father, is one of the greatest athletes to ever walk onto a field. His charisma, flash, and dominance made him a two-sport legend. Today, he's the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes, revolutionizing college football with his magnetic leadership. Shilo's brother, Shedeur Sanders, is battling for a quarterback role in Cleveland, carrying immense expectations as the face of the Sanders legacy in the NFL. For Shilo, that spotlight cuts both ways. On one hand, it gave him visibility. Scouts and media paid attention because of who he was. On the other hand, every mistake is magnified. One punch isn't just a punch. It's Deion's son losing control. Fans online wasted no time pulling the family name into the discourse. Comments like "common thug behavior from the Sanders family" or jokes about Deion disowning his son spread quickly. Whether fair or not, it showed how the Sanders brand can amplify both praise and criticism. Social media erupts. The NFL world reacts. As soon as Shilo's ejection hit the ticker, the internet exploded with takes. One fan wrote, "What a way to start a career. He won't be in the league too much longer if that continues." Another joked, "Must have thought he was back in the boxing ring instead of the football field." Some took harsher jabs, dragging the entire Sanders family. Typical Sanders behavior, flashy and reckless. Others, however, offered empathy, pointing out that Davidson may have instigated the fight and that rookies sometimes need space to learn. Still, the majority of the reaction underscored one truth: undrafted players don't get the luxury of emotional mistakes. The Buccaneers' bigger problems. While Sanders' ejection made headlines, the Bucs had broader issues in their 23-19 loss. The team was outgained 375 to 241 in total yards. They managed only 45 rushing yards compared to Buffalo's 105. The Bills controlled the clock for nearly 36 minutes, leaving Tampa chasing the game. Silver linings were scarce. Backup QB Connor Bazelak showed flashes with 107 yards and a touchdown. Tez Johnson grabbed 8 passes for 58 yards and a score. But overall, Tampa looked overpowered and out of rhythm. Special teams and depth players, the very areas where Shilo needed to shine, were glaring weaknesses. Instead of tilting the field, the Bucs lost ground. Sanders' ejection only spotlighted the failure. Cut down looms, Shilo's uncertain future. The NFL calendar is ruthless. By August 27th, teams must trim rosters from 90 players to 53. For Shilo, the timing of his mistake could not have been worse. He entered the Bills game as a long shot for the 53 but a viable candidate for the practice squad. Now coaches must ask, is he worth the risk? Can he be trusted not to lose composure when the stakes rise? Practice squad opportunities remain possible. But in the cutthroat logic of the NFL, why would a staff choose a player with red flags when others offer discipline? Lessons of control, growth, or collapse. What Shilo does next will define his path. This mistake can be the moment that ended his NFL dream, or the moment that sparked his growth. Deion Sanders has always preached discipline to his sons. He often says, "Discipline is doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it to be where you want to be." For Shilo, the punch against Davidson was a violation of that creed. But the NFL is also a league of second chances, if a player proves they can learn. Shilo must now show Bowles and the Bucs that this was an isolated lapse, not a pattern. His fight is no longer about ability. It's about trust. Conclusion. Defining moment or dead end. The story of Shilo Sanders' ejection isn't just about a punch. It's about the fragile balance between opportunity and failure in professional football. For veterans, mistakes sting. For rookies on the bubble, mistakes can be fatal. Shilo's fate now rests not in his father's legacy or his family name, but in whether Tampa's coaching staff believes one act of frustration should define him. As cutdown day looms, Sanders stands at a crossroads. Redemption or release, practice squad or unemployment, growth or collapse. The NFL world has already judged. Now it's up to Todd Bowles and the Buccaneers to deliver the verdict.